Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Beyond the Album Cover, where we get an interview with those in the know inside the industry and give them their flowers while they're here. Right now, I have with me my guy. If you're from the Piedmont Triad area, you know his face, you know his voice, WXII, The Rundown with Desmond Johnson. He has his own podcast, the one, the only, the talented Mr. Brandon Blakney. Brandon, welcome to Beyond the Album Cover, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Jarrell, thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all letting me hop on and chop it up with you.
No problem, man. And it's definitely going to be refreshing because I know you're tired of talking about sports. So we're going to get a little bit of music in and not talk about the Clippers job. Shout out to Reggie Miller.
Oh, you wrong for that.
Yeah. That's why I call it when somebody's choking. I say they Reggieing.
Okay.
yeah, man. So shout out to Playoff P, Kawhi, and Doc. So I hope that 1, 2, 3 Cancun. So yeah. So without further ado, how did you get your start in broadcasting? What made you want to get into this business?
Most definitely, man. It's a tough business. It's a small world, and it's a lot you got to do to really even get paid for it, man. People don't realize, when you first starting out, there really isn't a whole lot of money in it, and a lot of guys are doing it out of passion. That's the same way I started, bro. I was lucky. I found my passion early. I had a teacher by the name of Mr. Griffin in high school that he's the voice of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons for the sports fans there. So he does all their stuff, commercials, calls their games and stuff over the loudspeakers. So he really introduced me to radio, man. That's how I got my start. Doing podcasts in high school, nothing to do with sports, just, learning the business ins and outs, learning how to write ads, learning how to, run a radio station. And that's what our class was a radio station. So from there, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I played sports growing up, even through high school, played baseball. And I knew at some point you got to hang them up. Either you get injured or you're not good enough. And I was not.
Got to retire the jersey and the cleats and focus on everything. I was the same way. I played football. I was like the Rudy on my squad. Only got in garbage time senior night. So I knew
everybody lit when you make a play.
Yeah. I made a big block on the tackle on kickoff, and everybody was all hype. But I knew my limitations. I was vertically challenged, so I had to hang it up and focus on this side of the game so I can still get my love for it, man. So where did you going to school and getting your degree?
Yes, so I went to UNC Pembroke. It's part of the UNC school system. I'm a beach boy, man, so I was down there by the beach. It's a historically Native American school, the only one like that here in North Carolina. Lumbee Indian tribe, great people down there. So they great broadcasting program that they have down there. Shout out to those guys. But got my start there and just continued to learn. And it's crazy, man, because so I completely switched paths. I was actually like running the board and learning like all the technical stuff and learning how to be a director and all that. And one day I was running like the control board and completely fell asleep, dog. And that's when I was like, okay, this ain't for me. Like I gotta switch this up. I just fell asleep during a live broadcast. So I switched to journalism, joined the newspaper, and I really got started in print and radio at Pembroke. And then when I graduated, WXII, man, it's really been like grad school, linked up with Chris Lee, was a mutual friend. And he really pushed me into, not saying he pushed me into TV because I wanted to be in TV and I knew I was good on camera, but I will say he really helped elevate my game in a lot of ways. And definitely showed me, man, it was like grad school, like I said, showed me stuff that I didn't know. As far as like a demo reel, I didn't know, and that's one thing I want to tell the college kids or the high school kids that are watching that want to get into this. Make sure you have a demo reel when you graduate. That was my mistake. I didn't have a demo, and I had to do it here. Luckily, they have some great professional equipment here, and they were cool with using everything, getting right and getting better here. So I would say definitely make sure to get your demo reel done while you're in college. And mentors are so important. I'm sure, as you know too, like people wanting to help you in this game. It's really about who you know and the connections, because, you know, the media world is so small, man.
It's all who you know and hustle, get your reps up. Just like you, I got my start in college at the college radio station, had my own show for 5 years,
Nice.
cold calling, cold emailing for interviews, and got some help along the way. But it's all about getting your reps up, getting your shots
Facts.
up. So when the opportunity presents itself, you don't have to stay ready to get ready, because you've been prepping, you've been grinding, you've been putting in that work.
Most definitely.
So who are you currently bumping in the whip right now? Who are you listening to?
Hey, man, I ain't gonna cap. I've been pumping that Big Sean, that Detroit too, man. I love it. I think it's got a good balance of features, but it's also Sean letting you know, like, I'm top 5, and I deserve that recognition, which I feel like he is, bro. Like, Big Sean's one of those guys that is kind of like the Tim Duncan of the league. Like, he's a champion. You know he's got all the talent, but he ain't many people's favorite first option, you know? So I feel like this album, he really was in his bag, came out, did his thing. I was excited for it. I think it was a really good project. So I've been bumping that a lot. I listen to a lot of different decades of rap. So I like the old school stuff. I like some of the newer guys too. Lil Baby is somebody I really like that's younger. I think he's doing his thing. Kevin Gates, Dave East just put out a project for all my northern rap fans. Big fan of Dave East. Found out he could act too, man. I don't know if you saw the Wu-Tang show on Hulu. Found out he could act a little bit. Joey Badass, also another guy that I thoroughly enjoy his music. Waves especially, just dropped not too long ago with his mixtape album. So I think there's a lot of good projects that have been consistently jumping. I like the guys from Griselda as well, with you know, all those guys from up north. I think the Detroit scene in general is really talented. New York's kind of making a comeback. I'm a fan of A Boogie with a hoodie as well. You know, they say he's the Mary J. Blige for the guys. So, you know, you gotta have that soft flow sometimes when you're in your feels.
Yeah, facts. You know, I've been bumping D Smoke's new album, and then just recently bumped the new Nas King's Disease, which was
too,
produced by Hit Boy. And just to give you a little side trivia, Hit Boy is the nephew of Rodney Benford from the R&B group Troop.
Okay, I didn't even know that. Okay, throwback.
Yeah, throwback, man. But I want to know, what do you consider old school rap? Because I know I probably got a couple of years on you. So what to you is old school rap? What era?
I would say old school's definitely like Run DMC, LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane. I actually enjoy Naughty by Nature. I was listening to them earlier today, man. I think that's a very underrated group. I know everybody knows them for their one hit, but they actually got some guys that can really flow. So I was impressed by them. Bone Thugs and Harmony's another group that I feel like was really good. You know, a lot of guys like that in the 90s. Big L's another one that really just died too soon, man. And I'm 27, just turned 27. So
3 more years to Dirty 30, bro.
Yeah, man. So I know a lot of people are surprised when I mention like the rappers that I like or certain guys that I listen to. You know, just guys like that really be talking about some stuff. I like guys with substance, but I also like the hood rat stuff too. You got to have the crunk music when you turning up, but definitely guys like that, man, that just really set the tone. Of course, you know, you got the Biggie and Pox, but definitely like other guys that really put on for that generation too, bro.
Yeah, because Tretch has been mentioned for a lot of MCs as their lyrical influence. Tretch, Benny, KG as a producer, Naughty. Very good group. I got a chance to catch them a year ago. My wife and I went out to Las Vegas to the mixtape tour with them, New Kids on the Block, Tiffany, Debbie Gibson, and they put on a good show. And, you know, whenever OPP and Hip Hop Parade come on, they're automatically singing along, and you're thinking about how it was so simple when you could wear your Naughty wear gear and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And what is your take on the state of NC Hip Hop?
I think it's dope, man. I think there's always been so many musical roots here, man, even back to the 90s with producers that have worked with Jay-Z on the Blueprints, and, you know, Jadakiss has connections down here and other guys. I think the roots have always been there. And J. Cole kind of helped too, but he blew up more in New York. So I really want to say I love Cole. He's one of my favorite rappers. But I really want to say the Baby really kicked the door open from North Carolina. It was just different because he was all Charlotte through and through. It was Charlotte, 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 like 704 North Carolina. I'm here. And he really started touring around here. So I think he kicked it open. But we got a lot of young up-and-coming artists here that are really good. Tia Corinne's one that's making some music right now with Isaiah Rashad out in Cali. There's Sauce Pack TB. TP Howie's another one, a guy I know. Busy Bailey. He's really talented, goes by Frequency as well. Rax is another one. And these are guys that have just continued to elevate with them. Not only because people don't understand about being an artist, it's also about your image and building a brand. So these are guys that are hustling, merchandise, their music, getting DJs to push them. And I think a lot of these guys and girls too have different sounds that are different from what's going on right now. And North Carolina's getting some buzz, man. And I know I probably left some people out. People might be mad. So I just want to show love to everybody. Taji's another one. Chris Meadows is another guy. Some guys that I've had on my podcast, some artists that I've had. And I think it's dope, man. Not just even from a rap perspective, but like I know country singers. Like you can find anything here, man. And the sounds are so unique, because you could find a guy that might sound like Kendrick. You could find a girl that sounds like maybe Alicia Keys or something like that. Like just everybody has their own unique sound. And it's crazy because we're all in the same place, right. But it's so many different influences that happen, like the Detroit influence, the Atlanta influence. You can see that, I think. And I think North Carolina is really carving their own. And I said this a while back when Atlanta and Quality Control were kind of taking over and all these guys were pushing. I felt like North Carolina would be next.
Yeah, and I'm definitely glad that the home state, the Tar Heel state, is finally getting its just due, because we came a long way from the days of, Jodeci being out. We got Rhapsody, we got Fantasia.
Oh, yeah, Rhapsody's dope. Anthony she had a dope album, too.
Yeah, shout out to my boy, Chad Dro Evans. He plays keys for Rhapsody. And I grew up in the 252 area of North Carolina. So,
okay. Where you at, Wilson? Where you out of Wilson?
I'm from Northampton County, Northampton, Halifax County, right around that area. Okay. But I'm based out of New Mexico, but I'm originally from North Carolina. And I went to school in Greensboro, went to UNCG. That's how I know Chris.
Spartan Nation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 336. Know about that very well. Now, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you're a busy man, people to see, things to do. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Definitely. So sports was locked down. So it transitioned from just sports to more of a culture. So I've had everybody from artists to a couple NBA players, big time college athletes, business owners. I try to have, I've had some local politicians. Mostly though, it's dealing with sports at all levels. I try to focus locally. So anybody that's interested in recruitment news, ACC news, I usually have access to the biggest high school stars that are around the area in North Carolina, which is just loaded with talent in basketball and football. But we try to keep it fresh, man. I'm bringing the culture, and I think podcasts should stay fresh, man. So I'm always bringing the noise and trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep it fun. And y'all can find it on Tobacco Sports Road Radio or Tobacco Road Radio as well. And also on my YouTube channel, Brandon Lee TV, all social media platforms. You can check me out there, man. Tune into some good knowledge.
All right. And what time do those podcast drops? And I know that they're going to be Eastern Standard. So go ahead and get it out.
Yeah. So it goes live at 1 p.m. every Saturday for the audio. And Thursday, we don't have an exact time because I drop them periodically on Thursdays. But typically Thursday is when the audio comes out because I do audio and video. I do audio and video. So usually the audio comes out Saturday at 1 on Tobacco Road Radio, which you can find, just Google it, online platform. And then on my YouTube Thursdays is usually when the video drops. So I try to keep it fresh, man, full of content. Also on my YouTube, man, I make highlight tapes. So I have my own film videography company. So I make highlight tapes and send them to colleges all over America for kids to try to get them exposure and stuff like that. And you'll find interviews and other stuff like that too, man.
All right, and folks, we're gonna have Brandon back on Beyond the Album Cover so that we can go in a little bit more depth. Like I said, this man
Most
is
deaf.
working hard like a Jamaican. He got to run the flower shop. Then he got to go do the concession stand. Then he got to work the front line at McDonald's, work the back line at Taco Bell, and be assistant manager at GameStop. Then still have time to go do his podcast. So, do you got any shout outs you want to get before we conclude, bro?
Hey, man, shout out to you guys for having me. Shout out to North Carolina, man. And I definitely, we vice versa, have to get you on the podcast to talk some music as well, man. I know you're knowledgeable, knowing some real hip-hop heads from back in the day that just love music, man. So I appreciate you having me, man. I can't wait to do it again.
No problem. You can catch this interview on all major streaming platforms. The audio, type in Beyond the Album Cover, and the video for this will be available on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/J85. Ladies and gentlemen, a great, nice, quick burst interview with my man, Brandon Blakney. Brandon, thank you for coming on, bro.
Hey, anytime, my guy, anytime.
All right.